Okay, so now we come to the Lightning Network. The Lightning Network is an interesting project. It allows faster and cheaper transactions than doing things on-chain. It's a layer 2 solution. Um, and there are three major Lightning Network implementations. And there's a few others that are coming up as well. But the main three are LND by Lightning Labs, C Lightning by Blockstream, which is the one that we're going to install. And then there's also Eclair by Async. So let's just get started with C Lightning and installing that. So we'll go to the GitHub repository for Elements project, Lightning. Okay, so this is their GitHub repository. Now, installation, we'll go straight to that. And what we actually want to do is compile the source code yourself as described in the installation documentation. So we'll go into the install.md and we'll go to the Ubuntu section. Okay, so it asks us to build on Ubuntu. Do this. So copy, paste. Type in our password. Bring this over here. Okay, it's then going to ask us to apt-get install all of these packages. So I'm just going to paste all of these through. Probably could copy and paste it everything, but I don't know if it works, so I'm just going to do this. Okay, so all of those packages is what we want. Yes. Now we can skip this part. If you don't have Bitcoin installed locally, you'll need to install that as well. Do not worry about this part. We've already got Bitcoin installed, so that's fine. Then we'll go into make sure that we're in our little home directory. So we'll clone into Lightning. So copy that and paste that. I'll also open up my home directory here on the side. Okay, we'll go into CD Lightning, so we can see we've got Lightning now, a new folder, and that's got all the stuff in there. And then what we want to do is, for development or running tests, get additional dependencies. Yeah, sure, why not? Let's do that. Copy this, paste it through. Okay, and then the next section is to just literally build Lightning. So configure. Yep. And then make. Okay, and then the final thing that we need to do is sudo make install. So that's now installed the Lightning Network node onto our PC. Now we will run it. We're going to go back to the main installation section, and we are going to basically start LND with the following command. So we're just going to do that. Copy and paste. Now when I enter here, we're just going to watch. So we've got a Lightning directory, but we're also going to get a .lightning directory coming up as well. So let's watch out for that. Okay, so there we have a .lightning file. Okay, and it looks like Lightning is now up and running. Okay, so that looks good. The next thing that we want to do is just bootstrap this thing. There is a specific command to do that. and it is here. Once you've started for the first time, there's a script called contrib bootstrap node.sh, which will connect you to other nodes on the Lightning Network. So that's what we want to do. So let's open up a new window, and let's bootstrap this bad boy. So we're in the Lightning folder, so we'll go into the contrib folder, and we're just going to sudo bash bootstrap node.sh. And then watch this thing just go into a flutter. Okay, we'll Control C out of that and try again. Okay. Another random pair. Okay, cool. So now we can see a bit of gossip happening. No, rather it's bad gossip, but anyway. So we're trying to just connect to random servers that will help us be broadcasted onto the network. So we can see it's starting to have a little bit of a, you know, I guess a little bit more activity. Now what we want to do is see if we can actually use Lightning to generate an address. So we do Lightning CLI new ADDR, and you can see here, if we wanted to fund our Lightning Network node, we'd pour money into here. So that's the address that we transfer some money to open up channels with others. Okay. But it actually just funds the node, and then from there it will open up a channel with somebody else. So I'll show you that with Spark Wallet. So we will continue that by installing Spark Wallet, and that's the more graphical way of using C Lightning. So we'll just move over to that. So we'll just do GitHub Spark Wallet. Okay. Here we go. I think now we're starting to get some. Okay, so server installation, we're just going to install Spark Wallet. So copy that, and let's do that in a new terminal. Paste. And we'll do sudo in front of it because we'll get permission errors. So let's install that. And then all we need to do is just type in Spark Wallet, and it will open that up. Okay, so we have straight away, oh, here we go. That's, yeah, doing some stuff now. So what that has done in our Spark Wallet is we've got a username, we've got a password that it's generated, as well as and that's been generated in the cookie file. Okay, so when we go into this website here, which we can, localhost 9737, it'll ask us for that username and password. So we'll just copy the user, paste, and we'll paste in the password as well. Oop, 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 oop. And So that's not going to broadcast that, but here's the password anyway. So we'll copy that and we'll paste that in. Okay. Now this is where we can start to, I guess, control our Lightning Network node a little bit better. So the way that we do that is we can go into, there's a little hidden or advanced topic. So if you click just here, you'll be able to get the logs and a console as well. So that's just additional pieces of configuration that you can do. Now, if you click on the node itself, it will show you your alias, so what your node is called. It's just randomly said Violent Maestro. It's connected to 2 other peers at the moment, and this is your node address, and this is your channels. So you'll expect nothing in here, and so to open a channel with somebody, you'd need to give their type in their node URI and how much you want. At the moment, we don't have any money because we haven't funded anything through the deposit. So this is the balance that you want to deposit your funds onto. At the moment though, just be very, very careful. This is a hot wallet, meaning that it is opened to a level of risk. So I would recommend that you only put in small amounts. Small amounts is for you to decide as to what you're willing to lose or potentially willing to lose. And it's not that you're going to lose it, it's just that there is potential for loss here. So I would recommend that you only put in what you can afford to lose into this address. But if you also want, if you can't pay to a BC1, you can also go to a 3 address here, and you can keep switching around. So that will then fund your wallet, and then you can open up a channel with somebody else once you have some funding. Okay. Now that will give you pay or so that'll give you outgoing capacity, so you can now pay people, but you also need incoming capacity. And the way that you do that is the best way that I have found is through LNBig. These guys seem to give you some free incoming capacity. So I think it's LNBig. Is this it? No. LNBig.com. Okay. Okay, so these guys are fairly well funded, and it says here inbound channels to you. Okay, so what you can do is select the size of how big you want your channel, and that can go up to 5 million satoshis. I would recommend only doing what you actually need. So this is incoming capacity. So if you're planning on earning funds on the Lightning Network, then use it. But if you're just trying to experiment around and do a little bit of that, then don't waste too much of their capital. They don't need. If you don't need the 5 million, then don't worry. Don't use it because it does lock in a channel with you, and so yeah, it basically means that others who might need it may not get it. So just be wary of that. And at some point, this might actually charge a fee for doing this. At the moment, it's free, but it could turn into a fee if there's a large volume of people who demand it. So, so say I just wanted, say, 362,000 or 3.62 million as the channel. So then what I'd do is I'd go into LND and I'd click next. And so here we've got the commands for C Lightning. So then what we do is we just literally copy this whole section here. You can copy that, and then you go into your terminal, into maybe a new tab, and paste that through. What that will do is create a channel that is incoming to you. So then you can start to receive funds from other people and other Lightning nodes. I'm not going to do that because it's not really required. I don't need it, so I'm not going to do it. So that is something that you can do. And the way that you then get payment capacity is to fund your own channel and open it up with anyone on the Lightning Network. There's a lot of other channels that you can open up with, so you can find them all on 1ml.com. And this is a very good state of affairs of the network. And so you can hook into, there's Living Room of Satoshi, there's Blockstream, Bitrefill, Tippin. So you can see all the Lightning Network nodes here. And then top increase, capacity, top channel count, so on, so forth. So you can start to explore around, and you can see the most connected nodes. You might want to connect to maybe Lightning Power users, async. Any one of these channels will help you out with your routing. Now what we need to do is make sure that this is a service file. What we don't want to see this going on in the background 24/7. So what I'm going to do is so we have two terminals that are taken up at the moment. It's our Spark wallet, and we also have our Lightning Network node as well. So C Lightning. So I'm going to stop that by pressing Control C. Okay, and that will then close down the Spark wallet as well, and then connection to server is lost, so we don't have that anymore. Okay, so now what we want to do is make sure that Lightning Network starts up at startup when we boot our machine. So let's go back to the Elements project, and in the repository, let's find the service file. Okay, so service, we take the raw file, and we're going to go into systemd system, and we're going into copy this and sudo wget that. Okay, we'll nano it, and let's start editing. Okay, so this executive start, is that where our Lightning D is? Let's find where that is. So in a new window, where is Lightning D? And it's in USR local bin Lightning D. So we're going to amend that to USR/local/bin Lightning D daemon. Now the conf file, we don't actually have one, so we're not going to use that. So we can remove that. The user is going to be me, and the rest of it looks pretty good. Okay, so Control X, Y for yes, I want to save that, and enter. Okay, now I'm going to enable it. Sudo systemctl enable Lightning D service. Sudo systemctl start Lightning D. Okay, now we'll see that Lightning hopefully is in the background, and start it up. So there it is there. Okay, and I can confirm that by just putting in Lightning CLI new ADDR. So that now returns an address, which means that my Lightning Network node is now active. Okay. All right. So the other thing that we might want to do is use a config file. A config file can be used, and it usually sits in this directory or this directory. It doesn't matter. And so you can read the instructions of all the configuration files, I think, in here. So you can have a configuration file, and you can go to this section and you'll be able to see all the config. So what you do is you would actually name it .lightning. In this folder, in your .lightning folder, you just name a file called config and use some of the configurations that are found in this area here. So you go into doc, and then at the bottom we will have configuration, Okay, so MD, do the MD, and so these are all the options that you can put down to do your Lightning, to customize your Lightning Network node. So if you, for example, want to change the name, then this is how you would go about doing it. Okay, and then you'd point the your service file to that config file. It doesn't actually need to be because it's in the default directory. So what you can do is just say, all right, well, say for example, I do want to create a config file. So let's put that into back into our home Lightning. Okay, there's nothing in there, so let's create one. So nano config, and we'll call it alias. So we had violent something maestro. We can call it I don't know, whatever. Lightning node 1 2 3, whatever. Okay, and then we would control X, yes, and save that. So now we have a file in there with a config, and so we just need to restart our Lightning Network node, and that would then hopefully spit out that alias there, which we'll confirm in our Spark wallet. So let's fire up Spark wallet again, and we can go to localhost now 9737. Okay. And we look at our node, and you'll see our alias is now Lightning node 123. Okay, so you can use whatever config files that you want, or you can keep changing that config file and refining it to your own needs based on what's available here. You can set your fees for any routing, so have a read through and see what you can do through here. Okay. Just going back to our Spark wallet. And it's got all the details here, so our version here and so on and so forth in the Lightning directory where it's so there's a lot of information here, and you can use that. Now what we also want to do is make sure that we can we can use this Spark wallet in the background as well. So let's get the service file for Spark wallet. Now the installation is we've already done, so we've server installation, npm install g Spark wallet, and then Spark wallet. Now we'll get the service file. Get the role, copy. So we'll change directory into the systemd system and sudo wget that file, sudo nano Spark wallet service, and we now need to edit the user, so that's me, group me, and the executive start command. So the command that we want to use is, where is Spark wallet? So it's in USR bin Spark wallet. Okay, so we'll copy that and we'll paste that through. Okay, we're going to add some flags here. So we're going to make it -i 0.0.0.0. That means then that any machine on our network can then connect to it. And because we're doing that, we also need a no TLS flag. So -- no -TLS, and that should then start up our service file. So I think that's about it in terms of editing. So Control X, Y, and S. Okay. Our Spark wallet's off, and we will now start that. So sudo systemctl enable Spark wallet.service. Sudo systemctl start Spark wallet, and now we can see that we're back on. So when we click go localhost, whoop, that's our BTC RPC Explorer, but 9737, there it is there. Okay, so now we have this installed in the background. The other thing that you can do with your Spark wallet, so let's just go back to the GitHub repository for Spark wallet. Is we can now install Spark wallet as an app, and you can use this on your mobile phone. So now everything we can clean up and sort of just say, all right, well, everything's happening now in the background, so I don't need really any terminals open. You'll see that they're all, unused now, so it's all happening in the background. Now, when you go to the releases section, you'll see Spark Wallet clients that will connect up to your server. So if you've got an Android device, then you can download the Android APK and install that. Linux as well is here, Mac and Windows. So he's got everything sort of in terms of applications all in through here. I'm going to install the Spark Wallet app. It'll be the exact same for your APK, for your Android, but I'm going to install the Linux app. So let's save that into our downloads. Okay, so it's in our CD downloads. Okay, so we'll just wait for that to finish. Okay, so that's now finished. Now the way that you'd install this package is sudo, I think it's dpkgi, and then Spark Wallet. Okay. Errors were encountered. Okay. So let's see if it's installed. Okay, so you can see Spark is there. So we'll open that up. And it'll ask you, connect to local or remote. Because this is local, that's okay. We can connect through to there as well. So if we go home katan.lightning/Bitcoin, then we can connect up. The alternative is to do a remote Spark server. So what we can do is connect to the either the local host, but if we want, we can go http://192.168.2.31 is the so 192.168.2.31 is the IP address, port 9737, and then we need the access key. So where can we find our access key? Well, it's actually in our cookie in the .sparkwallet folder here. So if we go into the .sparkwallet folder in our home directory, we open up this cookie. It's got our username and password from before, but also, so it's separated by colons, so username, password, and then the access key. So copy this, and so when you're on an Android, you can do that as well. So you just paste that access key in there, save settings, and now you are connected to your back to your node. So you can look up the channels, and it's nice interface for you to have a look at, right? So the other thing that we need to do is maybe to clean this up a little bit. You'll see that the icon's there, but when we have a look, when we close that down, and we want to add it to our favorites, for instance, Spark, it's not quite there. So when we add to favorites, it'll be this type of thing. Now let's clean that up a bit. So let's go to the Spark Wallet repository and grab some icon files. Find file, PNG. I don't know, maybe 32. No, too small. Let's go 192. Yeah, that'll do. So we'll download this, copy, and we'll put it into the Pix maps. So hopefully it'll read it from here. I'm not sure. Let's see if it works. So sudo wget/p into usr share Pix maps, and we want paste. Okay. Now let's maybe rename it. So in the USR share / pixmaps, it was called, where did we download it to? It was this icon 192. Let's call it Spark, maybe. Sudo move icon to spark.png. Spark wallet. Yep. Okay, let's just try that again with the Spark wallet. Sudo, it's in USR share pix maps. Okay, and we will get it into move Spark wallet to Spark desktop.png. And we'll put a in front of it. Okay, so that's now changed there. Okay, so it's Spark-desktop if you want to install a install the icon back in. Okay, cool. So be careful. Just be careful because you are putting funds onto a hot wallet. It is a risk, so just be careful the amount of funds that you put onto it. Okay, and that should get you going. Just one thing that I forgot to mention with the Spark wallet, obviously the pay and the request features. So you can pay an invoice by copying and pasting in the invoice here, but if you're on your mobile phone, it's got a scan functionality as well, so you can scan QR codes. And then if you want to request payment, so just say for example you want 100 sats, you can also change the denomination here to USD, sats, bits, millibits, BTC. So say for example I want a payment of 100 sats, so I can request that. And this is the address that I would copy and paste, and this is the QR code that you can give out for people to pay you. Now it says here, warning capacity, no channel with a peer that is not a dead end has sufficient incoming capacity. So because I don't have any channels open, it's not going to allow me to accept any payments. So once I get some received capacity from LN Big, then I can start receiving money. And then once I get some channels going out to opening up channels with other people, then I can start to look into making payments as well. So that's just all there is to Spark Wallet. Enjoy it.